Greetings, Ian from RTO here. Welcome to another dark and gloomy day from here in Northampton. Someone's forgot to switch the lights on outside. Though it is light, it's not very light. Hence why it's quite dark in here. So I had to put some lights on. Anyway, enough of the mumblings. Welcome to another week on the channel. It's the last week before Christmas. We're here right till Friday, so normal programs this week. Next week will be a bit different, but I will tell you about that on Thursday on the live stream. But today we're going to concentrate on Christmas albums. Now, these albums, I've done a top 10 of the Christmas albums that I seem to play every year, and they come out year in, year out. Some will go back to my childhood, some are my teens, some are quite modern really, well, modern for me, but most of it is very traditional Christmas music. So we'll get a crack in. So coming in at number 10 for me is an album that I used to remember from my nan's. You used to go into their house at this time of year and there'd be 2 or 3 albums that would be on, and this is one of them, and it's from 1968 and it is Perry Como's Christmas album. Yep, the Jumper Man himself. I just got fond memories of this. They've got the Ray Charles singers on here, and they're all sort of Christmassy songs. So on here they give us Christmas Eve. This is a song by Gerard Andre Bissell and lyrics by Mr. Ray Charles himself, because the Ray Charles singers play on this as well, or sing on it. And then you do hear What I Hear, quite a nice little tune. Christ is Born, and a version of Little Drummer Boy. And then there is No Christmas Like a Home Christmas, really good little song, Oh Holy Night. And then we got Caroling Caroling, The First Noel, one of the traditional Christmas carols, sounds really good. Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Silent Night, probably one of my favourite carols, really nice version of it. Silver Bells, Toyland, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and Ave Maria. As I said, this is in my top 10 because it's just one of them albums that it just reminds me of my childhood. I would have been round about 7 or 8, and it was always seems to be on at my nan's house at Christmas. Just like number 9. Now we all know my nan was a big fan of Jim Reeves, and this is another album that was on at my nan's over Christmas. The 12 Songs of Christmas by Jim Reeves, released in 1963, and it was the only album that Jim did as a Christmas album. And he gives us Jingle Bells, a version of Blue Christmas, Signor Santa Claus, Old Christmas Carol, The Merry Christmas Polka, White Christmas, Silver Bells, and Christmas, and that's A Little Town of Bethlehem, a really nice version of Mary Boy's Child, Oh Come All Ye Faithful, and again a lovely version of Silent Night. Another, as I said, another childhood thing, and that's why I still play it. I've got fond memories of this, and it's also that this tomorrow would have been my nan's birthday as well, so it's a very special album, and I will be putting this on tomorrow at some stage in honour of my nan. I mean, she passed away in 1990, just before Christmas. Was it in the New Year? Probably New Year, I can't remember, such a long time ago. Yeah, she was only 69 was my nan when she passed. So yeah, that's why that album is very special to me. Okay then, coming in at number 8. Now this is a compilation album, and it was the very first Now Christmas album, and it was released in 1985. To me this was the perfect album because I used to do discos in them days, and having the Christmas album actually was brilliant because if people would ask for all the Christmas, and it's got all the great Christmas songs on it. Perfect. Actually reached number 1 on the album charts as well. So it opens up with Band Aid, Do They Know It's Christmas, the original. Roy Woods, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. Slade, of course, has to be on there. Wham, Last Christmas. Elton John, Step Into Christmas. Mike Oldfield in Douche Le Double. Gary Glitters, Another Rock and Roll Christmas. Paul McCartney, Wonderful Christmas Time. Shakin' Stevens and Blue Christmas. John Lennon and Happy Christmas War Is Over. The wonderful I Believe in Father Christmas by Greg Lake. Chris de Burgh, A Spaceman Come A Travelling. Great song. Jonah Louie, Stop the Cavalry, brilliant little song. The Beach Boys, Little Saint Nick, we'll be talking about that later as well. Thank God It's Christmas from Queen. Lonely This Christmas from Mud. Johnny Mathis, When the Child Was Born. Great track. And then White Christmas from Bing. I know they've made other versions of it, but this is the best album. And although I haven't got the album now, I've managed to put this together in my Spotify library and made a playlist. So if you want to listen to this album again in its entirety, if you go into the information on the page, you'll get the link to my Spotify, so you can go and listen to it to yourself. It's just a great album. Okay then, coming at number 7, it's an album that we spoke about a few weeks ago. It's by Gordon Giltrap, and it's this one, A Midnight Clear. It came out in 1987. He's accompanied by Bimbo Alcock on the saxophone, flute, and Rick Sanders on the violin. It's really nice album. I know we spoke about it before. We get Weave, Three Kings of Orientar, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. It came upon a midnight clear. O Little Town of Bethlehem. I saw 3 ships come sailing in. Holly and the Ivy, past 3 o'clock. Ding Dong, Merry on I. O come all ye faithful, the first Noel. O come, Emmanuel in the midwinter. I like this because it's got all the traditional carols on it. It's an album that I've had quite a little while. Obviously everyone knows who's Gordon Giltrap, as I said before. I haven't got much of his stuff, but I saw this, it's very cheap, and I thought, wow, it's a nice Christmas album. And I put it on and I love it. I love listening to this. So that's why I have it on every year. Okay, number 6, an album we spoke about last week. It's an album from the Moody Blues. It was their last album they ever made, and it is called December from 2003. It's the only album that's released following the departure of Ray Thomas. Won't go into too much into this because we've talked about it last week. But you got they're all sort of mixture of modern songs and traditionals. You know, we've got Don't Need a Reindeer, written by Justin Hayward. Great little song. Justin Hayward wrote December Snow. Then we get in the Quieter Christmas Morning, which is a bit of it's a tune, Bark 147, but it's Justin and John put some lyrics to it, and it's really nice. On Christmas Day, a song from John Lodge, really nice song. Then they do a great version, as I said last week, about Happy Christmas War Is Over. This is certainly better than the original. No wailing from Yoko Ono on it for starters. It's great. Then they do Winter's Tale, David Essex, written by Tim Rice and Mr. Womble himself, Mike Batt. Then John Lodge's Spirit of Christmas, a great track, really Christmassy song. Yes, I Believe, Justin Hayward, isn't too bad. Then they do their version of When a Child is Born. It's the best track on that album. We won't be putting that in the playlist because we did last week. Then White Christmas in Bleak Midwinter, another album that's really good. I love playing this. Just wouldn't be Christmas without a bit of Moody Blues. I mean, what I like about this, and I'm going to repeat myself, but they're modern songs, but they are so Christmassy. Okay, then coming at number 5, another album that was played a lot in our house. It's the Christmas Elvis album. I think everybody's got a copy of this. Just Elvis Presley. On here we've got Elvis doing the vocals and the acoustic and rhythm guitars. Scotty Moore, Bill Black, DJ Fontana, the Jordanaires, can't pronounce it. Neil Matthews, Hugh Jarrett, Gordon Stroker and Hoyt Hawkins. Then we get Santa Claus is Back in Town. That's quite a good little rock and roll number. A nice version of White Christmas. Here Comes Santa Claus, I'll Be Home for Christmas, which is a great song. Blue Christmas, the most famous one that he'd done, I think. Santa Bring Me Back, My Baby Back, O Little Town of Bethlehem, Silent Night, There'll Be Peace in the Valley for Me, I Believe, Take My Hand, Precious Lord, It's No Secret. Again, it's one of them albums from growing up. Rock and roll, it was just nice. Great little album. Okay then, coming at number 4 is an album by Heart, and it's called Heart Presents a Lovemonger's Christmas. It was the 12th album released by Heart in 2001. It was originally released as Here Is Christmas, but it got changed to the title. On here there's Anne and Nancy Wilson, Sue Ennis, Frank Cox, Ben Smith. We've got some additional musicians on here. We've got Brad Allison on the flugelhorn and piccolo and trumpet. We've got Dewey Marler on clarinets and flutes, Mary Frank on the harp. So these are some traditional songs and songs written by Anne and Nancy. So the first one's called Here Is Christmas. It's a nice. These are all nice songs, very gentle as well. War Below, Christmas Waits, William and Rose, a nice version of Ava Maria, absolutely wonderful. How Beautiful, The Last Noel, It's Christmas Time, Oh Holy Night, and Bring a Torch. A really good album. Again, lots of Christmassy songs written, new material from the Wilson sisters. I love listening to this. There's also a live album that they did of this as well, and that's good, but I normally always grab this. It's just a nice gentle album for a Christmas an evening, something when you're wrapping up the presents, or you just want to chill out, like the day before, you've done all that work ready for the big day and you just want something to put on. This is an ideal album. Okay then, number 3, another band we ranked the other week, and it's the Winter Carols from Blackmore's Night. Came out in 2006. Richie Blackmore and Candice Knight, Pat Regan, Robert Carrario, the Sisters of the Moon vocals, Anton Fig on the drums. First track off here is called Crowning the King, which is a song that was on Fires of Midnight. It's quite a nice little thing. Here We Come a Caroling, very traditional song, done in a medieval sort of thing. These are all done in that Renaissance medieval style. It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, O Little Town of Bethlehem. Silent Night again is wonderful. Christmas Eve, Hark the Herald Angels Singing, O Come Ye Faithful. This is alive. This is from live album called Live at Minster Hall. So you got some live tracks on here, that's nice. Emmanuel, again done live in 2013. We Three Kings. Then we get this little traditional song called Ma O Tzur, or Tsar, or Zur. Lovely, and then a nice version of Good King Wenceslas. This is brilliant. What I like about this album, I think this is how they used to celebrate Christmas and sing carols in Tudor times. It's a fabulous album, which I love playing over the Christmas period. Great little album. Okay, number 2. Another of my favourite bands released a Christmas album. This time it's Jethro Tull. It was their 21st album, and they released it in September of 2003, believe it or not. So of course we got on here is Ian Anderson and Martin Barr, Jonathan Noyce, Andrew Giddins and Don Perry. And the first track is an Ian Anderson track called A Birthday Card at Christmas. Just a typical sort of it's got a very Christmas feel to it. Great flute as usual, very Christmassy. Then we get Holly Herald, which is an instrumental arrangement. Just very nice Christmas music, very, very good. A Christmas song. Now, these are the songs on it. A Christmas song, written by Ian Anderson. Another Christmas song. God Rest Ye Jerry Mentleman. This is a jazzy version of it. It really is good. Great flute from Ian. Jack Frost and the Hooded Crow. That's a lovely song. Just telling a story, one of Ian Anderson's story sort of songs. Last Man at the Party, another folky song which is quite thing. Weathercock, not very good fan. Big fan of that. Then we get Pavane. It's a nice classical. He's done it quite a few times. It's a lovely piece of music. Then there's Green Sleeved, which is actually based on Green Sleeves. This is more of a jazzy fusion thing. Fire at Midnight, not to be confused with the Blackmore Nights version, but it's a solid Tull song. And then We Five Kings, which is arranged by Ian Anderson, and it's a really nice song. Then it's got my favourite song on here, Ring Out Solstice Bells. I remember them doing this on Top of the Pot. Wonderful. Then they put Bury on here, which is great, and then A Winter Snowscape, an instrumental by Martin Barr. Fantastic. Again, a mixture of traditional carols done in a way, the Jethro Tull way, the brilliant original songs as well. Mate, he does. It's a very Christmassy album, and an album that I play every year. So my favourite Christmas album, and the one that I really do play a lot, it's a very modern one. It's Christmas Portraits by Mr. Rick Wakeman. Came out in 2019. It was the third of the series of albums he done. He done Piano Portrait and Piano Odyssey, and this one. I just love this. He does The First Noel in a Bleak Winter, Deck the Halls, Boughs of Holly, Away in a Manger, Holly and the Ivy, Silent Night, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, Angels from the Realms of Glory, O Come All Ye Faithful, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and See Amid the Winter Snow, O Little Town of Bethlehem, I Saw Three Ships When a Child is Born, On a Holy Night, The Coventry Carol, O Come, Emmanuel, A Winter's Tale, very nice, We Three Kings, Sussex Carol, and It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. Now, this to me is what Christmas is all about. Now, this takes me back to my school days. You know, we used to sing carols at school, and it was all done by piano, and I think that's what it takes me back to my school days. This hearing carols played on a piano. I mean, we had a very good music teacher. She was fantastic at my middle school. She was a lovely lady. She was she'd got a bit of a disability on her back. She'd got a curved spine, so she was only about 4'3" or something. And her name was Mrs. Hollowell, but we affectionately called her Mrs. H. And she loved music, and she used to play these carols, and we'd sit in music, and we'd have a sing song. It was fun. I mean, at school I hated music up until Mrs. H, because we just did all sorts of music. Yeah, she was a bit of a Jerry Lee fan, because she played that rolling piano for us, and it was all great. So that's why I probably like this, because it does remind me. I mean, I love Rick Wakeman, but it reminds me of Mrs. H. God bless her. Okay, that's my top 10, but there are some other albums I do listen to that I wanted to just mention. First one is one will go back to my childhood again. Bing Crosby's White Christmas album. You couldn't do an thing without mentioning Bing Crosby. Great little album. And again, we got another one from Wakeman, Christmas Variations. This one was 2001. It's a good album, but I prefer the Portraits. And then another one I dig out from Eric Clapton, Merry Xmas 2018. Very different sort of Christmas album, but Eric does a fine job. Some nice little songs, some traditional bluesy sort of sound as well. Yeah, I don't mind listening to that. And I've added this one because it only came out a few weeks ago, and it's an album that I've played quite a lot, and I think it's great. And that's Andrea Corr's new Christmas album. Reviewed it on the 9th of December, but I think this is one that I will drag out every year now. So there we are, folks. There's a few of the Christmas albums, if you want to go and have a listen to yourselves. I've put a little playlist together of some of the songs off all the albums, including the honourable mentions today, because it's Christmas. So go and have a listen to that. I'll be back later with a classic album, and we're going to have a look at the Beach Boys Christmas album, just to see if it's a Christmas album or it's just a Beach Boys album, and why didn't it sell over here. Okay, I'll join for that in a bit. Hopefully it'll have brightened up a little bit, but I'm not holding my breath. So I'll see you later. Bye for now.